welcome to a wonderful tutorial for console streamers and everything that we might possibly need or things that you might want. I honestly believe as a console streamer, we're kind of underserved. So I figured I would do this video for you guys and hopefully answer some questions on one, getting started, and two, kind of what to look forward to in the future if you decide that you want to stream full-time or even part-time, but you want a better setup. So I started out streaming with just my PlayStation. I wasn't sure if I wanted to stream necessarily at all. I really wasn't sure. I tried it years ago. It failed miserably and I hated it. So I decided this year that I was going to give it a shot. And I started at the end of last year in 2018 to figure out what I want to do. Since I got a chance to retire early, what am I going to do with my time? So I started streaming video games because I was playing anyways. So it didn't really matter. And a couple of things that I figured out right off the bat when I started researching how to stream. Almost every message board I came across or online magazine about streaming told me that I needed to have the latest and greatest computer to do it. That's false. It's a myth. It's honestly a myth. You don't even need them for actual PC games unless you're playing in 4K Ultra or Ultra itself, or even sometimes HD depending on the game. So PC streamers tend to be the ones that put out that information. There's not a lot of console streamers who will actually talk about what is needed. Many streamers have already moved on from using their console as their main rig, which is fantastic. That's great that you got a chance to do that, but a lot of us are on a very tight budget. As a console streamer, we tend to buy games at an insane rate, and then we buy all of the microtransactions too because we're insane. But that's a whole nother video for a whole nother day. One of the bigger things that I figured out right off the bat is internet. Double check your internet speeds. A first-person shooter console player will automatically know that there's an issue with their internet because of lag and other things that might happen. Now, an MMO player may not notice it because we tend to play single-player games where internet isn't a big deal. But when you're streaming, internet is a factor. The other thing with your internet that you do need to check is if you have a data cap. Double check. You need to ask your provider. Verizon, AT&T, and Frontier are three of the bigger ones where I live at in California that do in fact have a data cap and don't always tell you. So ask your internet service provider whether or not you have a data cap. If you do, that's okay, but make sure it's way up there because streaming is going to eat your data like num-nums. So it's going to run through it before you even realize what's happened. If you do have a data cap, I honestly suggest you don't stream. Continue gaming, have fun until you can find a service that doesn't have a data cap or you have the ability to afford the plans that are unlimited. Now, you also have to be careful because some internet service providers, Verizon, will throttle your internet. They've gotten in trouble for that a few times, but there's nothing we can really do about throttling of the internet. So just double check, ask those questions to your internet service provider. Now, with streaming off of consoles, it's a little bit different than streaming off of a PC. We don't have the options for overlays if you're streaming directly from your console. Unfortunately, overlays are not something that you're going to be able to use, but that's okay because there are actually quite a few large top 10 streamers that don't always use an overlay. They just use gameplay with their actual webcam. That's it. Yeah, you know, everybody wants to see fancy overlays and alerts and the noise and yay. That's what it is. Yay. Those are great things to have down the road. If you are on a tight budget, stick with what you know. Stick with the stuff that you already probably have at home, like your headset. Almost every MMO streamer or MMO gamer that I know plays with a group online. We're kind of nuts like that, and that's okay. And I love it. I love the gaming community. Most of us have a headset. Some of us use the ones plugged into our controllers. Others use wireless ones. Me personally, I prefer a wireless headset. Now my other human, he prefers the kind that actually attaches to his controller, so he never has to charge it. It is based on what you prefer. Now for me, I am a Turtle Beach person, and I have 3 of them. 2 of them are for this, for my actual PlayStation, I mean, and then the other one is used for my actual stream. I'm not using it for these videos because I don't need to. Now, with the one that I use connected to my controller, I use that only if I'm in the same room as my other human and he's talking to me. So I can still hear him out of one ear because it only covers the one side, which is very helpful if you also have children. So I love Turtle Beach products. I will advocate for them until the end of time, until they go out of business. This is actually their Stealth 500p. I love this headset. I've had it for years. I probably will not change until I break it. The microphone is very, very clear when I'm actually talking into it for my stream, when I was streaming directly off the PlayStation. The other thing I like is that I can mute it. And also, when it dies, because it will die, it is wireless, when it dies, I can plug it in and keep going. So it will actually charge and allow me to continue talking and playing. No issues there. Again, I love these headsets. Turtle Beach is a fantastic company overall, but it is not for everyone. They can be a little bit more pricey than what some people want to spend. Now, you can go with the other ones. I think the other Turtle Beach I have, I bought for like 45 bucks. It was very cheap, or maybe 20. I can't remember, because it's been a while. But you can buy a cheaper headset. Just make sure the audio quality comes through crystal clear. Test it. Do a few test streams and then play them back so that you can hear them. If you sound kind of gargled or it's kind of disjointed, it's not matching up, there might be an issue with your internet, or maybe possibly you weren't plugged in all the way, but there's, you're going to have to troubleshoot from there. The other thing with a console streamer is your webcam. Not all of the console streamers actually use them. Actually, not all streamers use them at all. It is based on personal preference. You don't need a webcam if you don't want to. If you're not comfortable in a camera, like I'm really not. I'm not a big camera person. You can see I'm blushing and everything else, and I'm talking to a camera. You don't need them, but they are great to have. These little puppies, you can buy on Amazon. You can buy them direct from PlayStation. It doesn't matter. Xbox has the Kinect. Very similar setup. They're pretty cheap nowadays, at least. You buy this thing, set it up, and away you go. You're done. You just set it up. Hit your little stream thing or source or whatever it's called on the controllers, depending on your controller type, and actually start streaming, because you can stream direct to Twitch from, I believe, both the Xbox and the PlayStation. PlayStation for sure. You can also stream to YouTube, which is amazing, as well as if you're on Xbox, you can stream to Mixer, which is a fantastic service as well. I stream to all of them because I can. I use your Restream, but that's because I moved over to a computer a couple months ago. So with my stream and actually streaming directly off my console, I realized that I really, really enjoyed it. It was something that I actually love to do. Now, if you realize right off the bat it's not for you, you're not growing, you're frustrated, whatever, don't feel obligated to continue streaming just because you started. At that point, with just the camera and your headset, you haven't wasted any money yet. So you're okay. Now, for the guys who've already wasted and blown thousands of dollars on these insane rigs, I feel for you, because I really wish somebody would have told you from the start not to do that. Stream a few months right off of your console and then go from there. Now, when you actually look to upgrade, everybody's going to basically point you towards the $2,000 streaming rigs. You don't need them. Like, I'm sorry to burst your bubble. You don't need it. You don't need it. There are thousands of different computers out there. You do not need the computer that is the most high power. You need a computer that will stream. If you're a console gamer, more than likely you're going to stick to console games. So you're going to need a capture card, a monitor for your computer, and an actual tower. That's it. And not even the most expensive stuff. So I'll show you what I have, and then we'll kind of go from there, and I'll explain some of my choices as we go. Now, as a console gamer, I did a lot of research. It's been years since I actually used a computer for anything other than work. So I wasn't really up to date on all of the changes that had been made within the tech world. Now, the person who lives with me, he's amazing because he works in IT. So I have homemade or homegrown IT services in my house. I love it. So when things go wrong with my computer, I can ask. Now, not everybody has that. And if you don't, you're going to need to do some extra research because everything I'll show you that I have may not work for you at all. You may decide that you hate it. You absolutely hate it. And I'm probably going to get a lot of flack for what I'm going to say. But honestly, if you're a console gamer and you're going to stream with just a PC, and the PC is really only going to be used for streaming, maybe some light video editing or, designing or whatever, you don't need the most expensive stuff. Don't. Literally, please don't. You're going to waste your money. So let's start with the number one thing that everybody asks, capture card. For me, I made the decision right off the bat that I wasn't going to spend a whole bunch of money on a capture card. I looked at Elgato's, and it is pretty pricey, especially when you first start out. And because I wasn't really sure, I didn't want to buy the full-blown setup, not right off the bat. So I decided to go with Shoe One. It is on Amazon, so you can actually type in Shoe One capture card, and it will pop up. It's like number 5 in the search list, which is kind of funny. This little guy is $99. And it's completely plug and play. Now, the other thing I ran into is when I first started streaming, I was on a Mac. So that was kind of a concern. I needed a capture card that I could use on a Mac. And of course, my camera is being ridiculous now. I was on this little guy. Ta-da! MacBook Air. I had to double check. MacBook Air. I literally streamed off of this. It has 8 gigabytes of RAM, and it pushed OBS and my stream with this capture card just fine. My streams came out flawless. The only complaint I had was the webcam directly in the laptop. Now, I'm not saying that you should stream with a laptop. That is not what I'm saying. Don't do that. It puts a lot of stress on the laptops themselves. They get very hot, and you can actually do some serious damage to them. Laptops are not designed for streaming. There are a few out there that say that they are, but don't. If you have a laptop, it has 8 gigabytes of RAM. Okay, give it a shot. You might be able to get away with it for a little bit until you fully decide that you want to go all in. With the capture card, like I said, it's literally plug and play. I love this capture card. When I go to update, I'll probably buy the Elgato at that point because by then I'll know for sure that it's going to be worth the money for me to spend. Now, to start with, it wasn't. So going with this is actually going to help. And I will link down in the description below the link for this actual capture card so you can take a look. Now, there are lots of reviews online that say don't buy these. Honestly, they're the same as all of the other capture cards. It's just a different shell with a different logo. That's it. That's the only difference. The only thing that the Elgato has that I wish this one did have is the actual audio for party chat. This one will not capture party chat out of the PlayStation. I'm not for sure if it will off of the Xbox. I've never tested it. So with this one, you just got to keep that in mind. Now, it will capture game chat just fine. So you may just have to drop into game chat if you're in a big party in order for the capture card to pick it up. If you want your stream to actually feature the others in your party at the same time. Occasionally I do, a lot of times I don't, because sometimes the friends that I play with don't want to be in my stream. So I look like a crazy person talking to myself like I do now. So with that being said, when I decided, okay, I'm done with the laptop. Okay, this is something I really want to do. I really do want to stream. I want to kind of go a little bit further. I went and I actually bought a computer. but not before the person I live with, my wonderful IT guy, told me I had to do some research first before he would back my decision to buy a computer for streaming. So I went on PC Part Picker and I did the crazy thing. I went all out. Okay, I'm going to build my own stream setup. And I read everything online that I could as far as what I would need. And in the end, it was going to cost me about $1,500. Now, that's prices off of PC Part Picker. That's not to say that I couldn't find them for cheaper. Well, when I actually looked at it, I realized I didn't need half the things on there. And I ended up going with this. It is from Best Buy. $579. I actually got it for a little bit cheaper because it was on sale the weekend that I went, which was President's Day weekend. This last President's Day weekend is when I actually bought it. And since then, I've done some upgrades, but that was more for me. I upgraded so that I could play a very, very specific game offline. Since I use this particular computer for both PC gaming as well as streaming. So, I mean, in the whole grand scheme of things, if you're going to just use your rig just for streaming, this little puppy is going to do exactly what you need. It is using an AMD FX 6300 CPU and an AMD Radeon RX 560 GPU. Now, it's not the best. It's really not, it's not top of the line. It's not fancy, but it does work. I ran it for about a month and I pushed her as hard as I possibly could push her. I ran League of Legends. I ran World of Warcraft. I streamed League of Legends and, streamed it at the same time, all on one computer. I've streamed off my console. I streamed PC games. I did the works. I had everything running at once. I did. I pushed it. I pushed that computer probably a little bit too hard. Now, in the grand scheme of things, I probably shouldn't have done that. But I decided after pushing it that I wanted to upgrade. Now, you don't have to. With the FX 6300 CPU, it's plenty powerful. The 8 gigabytes of RAM, plenty powerful if you are a console streamer. You'll be fine. You don't need the Ryzen 7. Now, the only complaint I do have with this computer is it is DDR3, and it doesn't tell you that until you actually buy it. So with DDR3, it is slightly slower, but that's okay. For a console streamer, you don't need DDR4 right off the bat, if at all, to be honest. I've been using this computer for a few months now, and I still love it. And all the upgrades that I did to it, I never changed the motherboard. So I'm still using DDR3. Now, with that being said, this computer is not for everyone. It's not going to be the supreme computer god that you want it to be. It is a computer to run your stream and a couple of other minor things. That's it. That's what it's designed for, in my personal opinion. You can play computer games on it. You'll be fine. Just don't push her too hard. You will break her. in the grand scheme of things, you'll break her. But as a console gamer, we don't need the oh shit expensive, oh my god kind of stuff for our streams. We really don't. Now, this thing will run OBS, XSplit, whatever you want to put on it, just fine. Just fine. Like I said, I put everything I needed onto this computer, never once had an issue. So I would honestly recommend, if you're just starting out streaming and you're still going to play console games and stream, go ahead and do this one rather than the one that's literally made by CyberPower that has, I think it has a Ryzen 5 in it, and it's like $1,200. And on a budget, this little guy makes the most sense. Which I wasn't really on a budget when I bought it, but it made me way happier that I did buy it, because in the end I could do upgrades as I pleased, but it still ran everything I needed. Now, after a few months, I made a decision, okay, I want to upgrade. So with console streaming, it's a little bit different because we don't have so much of a load on our computers. We can kind of go the roundabout way to get things done. On top of that, we're not looking to push the most expensive games. So the first upgrade I actually did was I upgraded my RAM. Now, if you noticed, with this particular desktop, it only has 8 gigs. which is kind of on the edge for me. I had a couple of games that I wanted to play on PC that needed a little bit more RAM than what I was comfortable pushing on that PC. So I upgraded the RAM. These are literally made by Corsair. I think it was it was just over $100 for this pack. Eek! Because it's DDR3, it makes it a little bit more difficult to find RAM sticks right now. My computer just froze for a second. With the RAM sticks themselves, these are amazing. So I ended up actually buying 4 8GB RAM sticks for just over $100. Again, these are not RGB, so they're not very expensive. Bought it on Amazon. It's been fantastic for me. There we go. The Corsair Vengeance is actually, I don't have anything bad to say about it at all. I really like them. And with the fact that I have 32 gigs of RAM, if I ever top out on RAM, I messed up. So if you ever hear me say that I ran out of RAM on my computer, seriously correct me and kind of tease me for it. But I decided to go with 32 just because they were on sale that weekend, so I bought them. They are DDR3, so they work with the computer that I already had because I wasn't going to switch the motherboard. Now, with that being said, finding a CPU that works with that particular motherboard, which is made by Asus, it's kind of frustrating. I decided, because I already liked the 6300, I wanted to stay with AMD. A lot of people in general will actually tell you AMD doesn't match Intel ever. They're liars. They're such liars. AMD is fantastic. They have some of the best stuff for streamers as well as PC gamers. So when I looked at upgrading, I couldn't find the CPU that I really, really wanted, because having a DDR3 kind of limits your scope on what you can actually upgrade to. Now, I wanted the 8370. No one had them. I got lucky, and Best Buy actually had the 8350. Comes in a little box. Looks literally like this, which I've colored on mine because my 6300 is actually in this box right now. She's basically brand new, and she's going to stay in this box. She's right there. Right here. Right there. So, when I took my 6300 out, I put it back in the box. She's now protected, and she's there for if this one dies. If this dies, I'm going to be very sad, and I'm going to blame AMD. But AMD is a fantastic company. Some of their warranties are top-notch. So this guy I actually bought from Best Buy for a couple $100. It was super, super simple to buy, very easy to put in, fit right into the motherboard. I had to do no additional tweaking, which was something I'm not very comfortable with, changing computer parts out. So this actually made it very easy. The directions in it, if you're not a computer type person, very, very helpful. With swapping both the CPU and the RAM sticks, when I looked at everything, I was like, man, I've done all of this stuff, but my graphics card still wasn't going to be able to push a game I really, really wanted to play. Now, the game itself, I have yet to actually stream, but it was a game that I really am passionate about offline. So I decided to actually upgrade my GPU at the same time as everything else. You don't have to. I think in total, those two particular components, both the CPU and my RAM sticks, cost me $300. No, you cannot buy these together. But they were both bought in the same time period. So $300 right there. So then, of course, you're up to $800. That's why I'm saying if you're on a budget, you don't need to do this. As a console streamer, you don't need to. I decided to because streaming is my passion, and it is something that I do full time. So upgrading was going to be a necessity for me eventually, and I just happened to have the money at the time to go ahead and do it. Now, eventually, I will move to DDR4. I don't have a need to right now. I still stream off my console. I'm not really streaming my PC games as much because I'm not super comfortable with them yet. Once I get a little bit better and I don't stink, then I'll probably go ahead and do that. Now, with this computer as well, when I upgraded the GPU, that was something else that can cause a problem with a DDR3, as well as your power supply. So you need to double check those things before you buy. Use PC Part Picker and Newegg and all those things, and double check that your computer is going to work. Now, for this particular model, everything I showed you literally is what I'm using right now. So you'll be able to run it no problem. Now, I moved to an MSI product. They have not the greatest reviews, but I so far love it. It is Gaming X G4 GTX 1060. So made by NVIDIA, does have NVIDIA warranties as far as I'm aware. If it doesn't, that's okay too. MSI is not a bad company. They get a bad rap, but their warranty process can be kind of a nightmare. This little puppy here was only so I could play a particular game. That was it. The RX 560 will actually push most PC games. So you don't actually need to upgrade this thing right away if you don't choose to, because these suckers are not cheap. This thing was over $300 by itself. So I honestly don't advise doing it. Not right away. This thing is VR ready, as you can actually see right there, VR ready. Because I may decide to actually do VR later on. I haven't quite made up my mind, but I'm very tempted to. Now, the other pieces for my setup are things that you need, but you don't. So if you're streaming off of a laptop, you already have a built-in webcam. There's zero reason for you to go ahead and buy something crazy. Now, for me, I'm a Logitech person. I have bought Logitech for my computers for the last 10 years, I think. Always Logitech webcams. Half the time, Logitech keyboards and mice. So when I went to go get my webcam, because my PC didn't have one, I decided to go with this puppy. It's a pro webcam. And the only reason I bought this sucker was for the ability to chroma key with no issues. I do still on occasion use my green screen. I don't a lot anymore since I did do the wallpaper and stuff behind me. But at the same time, you don't need to. Logitech makes some amazing webcams for streaming or just in general, to be honest. Their webcams are amazing. So honestly, I would go with them. And I will link everything I've shown you today in the description below. And if, by the way, if you don't subscribe, make sure you subscribe to my channel, as well as maybe come see me on Twitch once in a while, Monday through Friday, starting at 9 a.m. So back to the topic at hand. Logitech webcams are amazing. This particular one, which is the Pro webcam, I think it cost about $100 at Best Buy because that's where I bought it. You can find it cheaper online. Overall, I have no complaints. Everything I use for my stream, I have zero complaints with. And I use it literally every day. I use my PC every day. I do both online gaming, I do offline gaming, and I stream. I use my console, I use my capture card. Literally everything I'm showing you, I use every single day. Now, some of the stuff that I have, like this particular webcam, may not work for you. You may decide that it's too much. It's too much money to spend. They actually have one, literally looks like this, for like $40. It has a few things, a few features that this one has that those ones don't have. But for basic streaming and just, webcamming in general, you don't actually need this sucker. I bought it because I could. Because I'm kind of crazy like that, and this was a splurge for me. I did look at the other webcams, and they're just as good. On top of that, this one can be used with Mac. That was also important to me. So I wanted to be able to still use it with the MacBook that I have. The other thing that I am in love with that Elgato makes, and I do suggest it for darn near every streamer who switches to a PC, is Stream Deck. I bought the bigger one. They have a smaller version of this. I think it's 6 or 7 keys, maybe even 9 keys. This one I believe is 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 15 keys. So I bought the one with 15 keys just to give me a little more freedom. These things are amazing. Oh my God. When I moved over to actually streaming off of a PC, this was actually one of the first things I bought just because I really wanted it. But you don't need it. You do not need this sucker. It's fantastic to have. It makes it easy. I was able to, you can switch scenes, you can hit record, you can hit the live button to go live. You can turn on and off sources, which is how I've been doing it this entire video. I use it for literally everything. It's actually sitting right in front of me. Overall, oh God, it was done such a fantastic job with these. And the fact that to change pictures on it so that, you know, you can manipulate it to make it look the way that you want it to look, whether you're using emotes. I have an entire folder full of emotes on my Stream Deck. So I just hit a button and in my Twitch chat pops up all these emotes. I can spam emotes with the best of them now in my own chat. I can't do it outside of my own chat, but in my chat, I can spam emotes if I so choose. Stream Deck is definitely something that as you get bigger, as you get more confident, you're definitely going to want to have it. I honestly think it's a must-have. It's definitely on my list of must-haves. The only other thing, now I'm sure you noticed, I'm not using a mic. I'm actually using the mic off of the Logitech webcam. The mic on this thing is phenomenal. I do love it. So far, I've had no issues. Now, that's not to say that it's not, you know, the best of the best, because it's not. It's a webcam mic. It's not really designed for streaming. I haven't found a mic that necessarily meets everything that I'm looking for. There's quite a few made by Blue Yeti. There's some other ones out there. I'm still doing research. So when I figure that out, trust me, I'll come back with a new video. So what I ended up doing is, because I like to hear my gameplay. So if I'm playing a PC game and wanting to talk to my stream, I wanted a way to do both. So I ended up buying another Turtle Beach headset. This little puppy right here is the Elite Atlas. I think it's like $60 to $100 at Best Buy. Again, I went to Best Buy because it's the closest place to me. But you can find them cheaper online. You can. I found them cheaper online after I bought it. So this is designed specifically for PC gaming, and I actually love it. It's very comfortable. It does everything I want it to do, and then some. So with this particular headset, again, it's made by Turtle Beach. So, and I love them. It does what you need. The mic on it is crystal clear, so I have yet to have any issues. It is actually this little thing right here, and I have actually seen other streamers actually use it. So I will again link the description where I bought it so that you can check it out for yourself. It's very, very comfortable, and as a female, because my head is smaller than the men, it actually fits. So for you girl streamers or women streamers, whatever, ladies, everything that I'm using, we can actually use. I have smaller hands, so the Stream Deck, my keyboard, my headsets, all of that stuff actually works for me. For most men, actually, all this stuff was designed for guys. So it being able to be used by me and comfortably be used is phenomenal. So with that all being said, as I adjust in my chair, which is probably not the most professional thing to do for this video, but so as I said at the beginning, for console streamers, if you're a console streamer, don't buy the best of the best. And even if you are a PC streamer, you don't need to go all out right off the bat. It's not going to get you more followers. It's not going to up the ante any for you. Yeah, it makes things look cool. I can do cool overlays now, but actually upgrading didn't actually help my following at all. It made my streams a little bit better. It made me more confident, sure. But in the end, it's not going to actually help you grow. Now, wasting all of your money is also not going to help you. You're going to get stressed. You're going to burn out. And there are different ways to deal with all of that, but it needs to be up to you. If you have questions, comments, or whatever, of course, put them down in the comment section below. I'm happy to answer them. You can also find me on Discord. Link is in the description for my Discord. I'm a console gamer. I just am. I'm not going to apologize to it, for it. And a lot of PC gamers will make you feel bad for it. We are gamers and we are streamers. And no matter what you stream off of, it is up to you. Don't let anybody tell you that you have to have the latest and greatest, because I am here to tell you you don't. You can stream just fine. With no webcam, you can stream with a webcam. It is up to you. Don't waste your money on something that's not going to make you happy. Don't waste it. And sometimes streaming isn't for you, and that's okay too. For me, it is a passion of mine. If you have questions, again, don't hesitate. Definitely ask. I'm always happy to review anything with you guys that I've mentioned today. If you've never seen me live, you can of course catch me live on Twitch Monday through Friday. I start at 9 a.m. in the morning and I go till noon. Tuesdays and Thursdays, I do a 9 a.m. to noon stream, and then I do another stream from 5 o'clock till 7 o'clock. So catch me during those times. I'm always happy to answer questions during my stream as well as chat with you guys. I'm not always the most interactive, but I do have a good time, and that's what my stream is actually all about. Again, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, that like button, send me comments, send me questions. I'm always open. You can also find me at onecoldkiller.com and send me messages through there as well. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure and hit that like and subscribe and turn on your notifications. Also follow me on Twitch when you get a chance. I will see you guys next time. I'm One Cold Killer,